Welcome Internet! Today we're going to go ahead and install our radiator for our WRX VB. We all know cooling is important if we want to keep the hot temps down, especially during hot lapping at a racetrack or in general spirited driving. Now for us, since this is running 300 plus horsepower, an increase of cooling capacity is definitely a plus, especially since our end goal is around 500 plus horsepower. So cooling and keeping the hot temps down is absolutely important and necessary if we want to make that much horsepower. So today we're going to go ahead and put ours in and take you along for the ride. Okay, so right now our car is up on the lift. We have access to it. If you don't have access to a lift, you can do this on jack and jack stands. Just having a lift makes it so much easier. So first thing we're gonna do is take apart this bottom splash shield just so we get access to the radiator drain. So to simply take it off, you just need a flathead screwdriver and you need a 12mm socket, which takes away these two bolts right here. And then this is for taking out all these plastic clips. So to put it in, you just simply go like that, and that's it. So come here again. So this is another one, simple. You just pop it out just like that. And then there is a different one somewhere right here. It might look different, but it's ultimately still exactly the same way. You just do that and then pull it out. So you want to remove all these plastic clips and take off this entire plastic shielding itself, just so you can gain access to the metal plate. So we just took off the splash shield, the plastic one, and you can tell right here is where your drain plug is. So what we're gonna do now, just to give us more space to work with, we're gonna go ahead and take out this metal plate. Arguably you don't need to, you can finesse it without it, with it in the way, but being only 4 bolts, we're just gonna take it off. So it is a 12mm. So they're kind of tight. And so I'm just gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, and then the last one. I'm gonna support it with a hand here, and then just take it off, like so. Put it to the side. And now you have access to everything else, including loosening the hose clamp, unplugging everything, cutting a zip tie because we swapped this out and everything. So now all we're gonna do is go back to the top and we're gonna open up the cap, and then we're gonna lower the car, put a pan underneath and drain it out. Okay, so now that the car is up, as you could see, we need to remove all this plastic. We do have aftermarket intake, and we do have our front radiator, front intercooler piping. So yours might look a little different, but all we're gonna do right now, focus on, is draining the coolant. So first you wanna do is open up to let air out, and then twist and open this, just so the pressure goes down. You're gonna go ahead and put a bucket. This is our bucket. And you're gonna just go ahead and find where the coolant is. So as you can see, this is where it is, and conveniently it has a hole to drain it out. All you wanna do is line it up properly and then crack it open. And then just let it drain out like that. It's gonna take a while, so we'll just let it drain and we'll move to the top, going back to disassembly. So while it's draining down there here, we're gonna go ahead and pop all these off and take off this plastic shroud to gain access to everything else, just to make it easier to take everything off. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. It's the same thing, it is a push pin. Yours, again, might look different because we do have an aftermarket intake on. Okay, so once again, we have an aftermarket intake to work with our front mount intercooler system. So yours will look a little different, but now you can see you have access to everything now. So with all the plugs out, you can go ahead and lift up, and now it's out the way. And this has to be a necessity because you want to gain access to these two bolts. So now it's finally done draining, just close it up just so when you move it up, it doesn't spill everywhere. And then we're gonna go ahead and move to the other side and take off the other hose. We're gonna go ahead and unplug this. Just take a set of pliers. I need a better angle for this. Oh, I need to go about this way. Okay. Go. That. And it actually has a self-locking, which is pretty cool. And then you just move back. Self-locking right there. Like so. Now it's locked. And then all you do is wiggle this. Sometimes it's really stuck. All you want to do is take a really good grip and yank it on one side. Once you get half a side out, just twist it. And it should come out. And be careful because there's probably going to be some coolant coming out. Hopefully not, but most likely. Yep, like that. See? There's still going to be coolant coming out. Like so. And just let it leak. When that's settled, just move it to the side. And then now we go into disconnecting everything that's attached on the bottom. So yours will look different because we have moved stuff around. So there's just gonna be a zip tie here. All we're gonna do is just cut the zip tie. So that. So the fan can come out, and all we're gonna do now is just disconnect everything. So there's cable here. You just wanna. So this is really stuck. Take a flathead, stick it in between, and then just turn it a little bit, like that, and it should disconnect. And when that's out, click here. Go ahead and press down here. Same thing. You press down here, and ideally, if it's not too stuck. There you go. So you want to press really hard down right here, and then pull this out. Yeah. So the bottom one's a little hard to see, but same thing. You want to stick it in here, turn it, just to pry it out. There's gonna be a lot of coolant that pops out here. So this is just like the other one down there. You want to click here, and if you click it right, this will actually. This one isn't doing it, but it's okay, because we're just gonna go ahead and clip it and then move it out the way. When you do that, make sure you wash your hands, because that will pinch you. And then this is pretty much the same way as down there. You just wanna get a flathead and pry it. Same thing, you don't wanna gouge the holes, you just wanna dig in and see these plugs. You just want to turn it just to loosen up all the pressure. And just gently scooch it up. And then put down this side. And after you do that, it should come off pretty simple. And again, watch out because there's going to be coolant coming out. Luckily there isn't. And then you can just shove some paper in there. And because it's rubber, they just stuff it in and just took it out of the way. So now that it's done, go ahead and take these bolts off. I believe they're 10s. All you want to do is just take this off. They are 10s. Put that out the way. The radiator should be pretty loose. These things out. Like so. And then the next thing you want to do is disconnect the AC condenser, because you can see it's connected to it. So you go ahead and take 2 bolts and loosen that up. So we're going to take a 10mm and go ahead and loosen this, take it out, take the AC condenser out. So, okay, and you look on this side, it's out. What we're going to do is take out the fans, and the fans are held in by these screws 2 on each fan, since there's 2 fans. There, and then this one, we're gonna start with the hardest one, which is this one. So all you gotta do is push in here to get this clip out the way. Once that clip is out the way, you can now slide this up, and it just comes out like that. So there's nothing holding, no clip, nothing holding on, you just pull it out, and just like that, you remove the reservoir. Now with access to the screws, right here, go ahead and take it out again. And with that out, the fan should be able to be disconnected. And you should be able to just slide the fan out, just like that. Careful, the fan is quite heavy. And because we didn't disconnect anything, we have to pull both fans out at the same time. Ideally, that's what you want to disconnect, so you can take each fan out individually. Now that we're here, we can show you what is going on. So ideally, you want to take this off because it is a little difficult to get to. Now you can see that we did end up taking this off, but in reality, we did not need to take. Now, as you can see, these 2 fans are connected to each other, but through this, and that. Now, it is really difficult to get these off sometimes, and the angle and etc. so forth. So what's really important is that you just get these 2 off. This is actually what connects to the rest of the car. If you're able to get this off, you can actually take both fans out at the exact same time if you're careful. Now if you notice that we did end up taking the bolt off here, like there, so. But there is 2 more holding it, the AC condenser to the radiator down there. So do not just go ahead and yank this out. You will damage something else. Now, there's 2 methods to do this. The first method is to go ahead and take this off. Now, normally, if you don't have a chin splitter or a big front mount intercooler, there's 2 bolts that connect to the AC condenser, and you should be able to access them with some extensions through here and through there. But because we have this and we have this, it's gonna be hard to access them. So what I'm gonna do instead is, because there's so much playroom here, I'm gonna go ahead and pry this back just a little bit and get to that bolt down there. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna just pry it back a little bit and then reach this bolt through that side actually. So my arm's gonna go here and a snake over there. Just go ahead and lean back enough so you can go ahead and stick a ratchet in here. And then go ahead and break the nut loose. Now, with the last 2 bolts out, and this is just out that way, you go ahead and lift up. Make sure that the AC condenser isn't stuck in here. Styrofoam. It's probably styrofoam. I'll show you when I take it out. Like that. This AC condenser right here, where is it? Can get stuck onto here because of a clip. So you just gotta be careful. So this is where the bottom bolt is. As you can see, it's actually really easily accessible through here, provided that you don't have a giant intercooler in the way. But because we do, and I don't want to take off the bumper, you just have to gently push it back. As you can see, there is some play in this, so you can tilt it back a little bit. All right, so that's a stock radiator, and this is ours. Here's the comparison. You go ahead and see it's already much thicker. And this is also plastic. That is not. And we have the same mounting points for the AC condenser, which is actually going to be hex screws now. Much easier to access to the top. Go ahead and carefully put this in. Before I put it in, we're gonna go ahead and mount the AC condenser to it. We're underneath the car again. After some dangling, I'm actually able to get the screws on. both sides. So be very careful. You don't want to crack or break or bend anything, but there is some play in this, so you don't actually have to take off the front bumper. Move the radiator around, be very careful with it, and then push it. Again, there's some play in the AC condenser. Push it around to get the left side on first, and then get the right side in. So now all you want to do is tighten those bolts down. So we'll start with the hardest side, which is right here. And this is a 6mm screw. So now that it's in, you go ahead and move it out a little bit. Again, be very, 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 very careful. Alright, so now that both bottom are tightened by hand, it's gonna be very difficult to do, but take your time, be very careful, don't pry, don't force anything to happen. So what you're gonna do is actually take a hex. This could work better if you have a better hex, but all you wanna do is stick it in here and then tighten it that way. Same on the other side, you stick this in and then you just keep turning it slowly, gently. Do not force anything, it is still under tension, but you should still have enough room to lean it back a little bit to tighten the bottom bolts without taking the front clip off. Gently push them into its correct mounting location. So just go ahead and gently move it over and then grab it and then force it to come down so that it's sitting flush. Once it's sitting flush like so, you can now go back to the top and tighten everything down. Alright, now that the bottom tightened up, once again, just tilt this back a little bit. Good. Should have plenty of space. And we're just tightening it down. So just take your time, be very patient, and be very careful. Do not force anything too harshly. Again, there should be plenty of room to let you tighten this. Just hand tighten it. No need to go too crazy. Go ahead and grab your radiator mounts and put them in the right position, like so. Now go ahead, now that you got them settled up, go ahead and snug them down. It's perfectly mounted. Now you can go ahead and get your fans in. Depending on your modifications, we have a front mount intercooler pipe here. So we have to take that off in order to put this on. Go ahead and try to line up with the bottom part. Don't be afraid to reach down and try to find it. And slide it in its rightful place. So go ahead and tighten down the bolts once you have it aligned. And because we have aftermarket mod for the intercooler piping, yours will not have this issue like we will. This pipe might be in the way if you have an aftermarket intercooler, so all you need to do is just remove this pipe, put the fan in, bolt it up, then put the pipe back in, and then you're good to go. So now I want to go ahead and do this side. This goes in the exact same way. This side fortunately has a little bit more room. There should be more room. You should have enough space to put the two hooks. In. Perfect. Now that's in. You can go ahead and plug all these cables back into, which it's very simple. You should just put a shit in and hear it click. If you cannot for some reason get to it up here, you can go ahead and go from the bottom. There should be enough room for you to click everything in like that. Of course there's some that you have to go on the bottom to get to, but we'll go down there a little bit. For now we're gonna go ahead and pop this off, and we're gonna go ahead and move this back into here. Also move this over, squeeze it tight, wiggle it over the little nipple thing, whatever you want to call it. Put that over. Once it's over, then you can release it. And now it is stuck on. The reservoir is very simple. It goes back in the exact same spot. Just line it up with, remember that this part has to go inside. So go ahead and stretch it out. Just gently again get over. And this part you just push down and now it's clamped on. Rotate this around, put it back to where the stock location is. So if you couldn't reach all the plugs from up there, you can do it now on the bottom. But here, what we're really gonna do is take out this plug. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the OEM one back in, like so. And then this is also a good time to go ahead and plug your switches back in, like so. Okay, so once you get this in, you might have to shove in a little bit more just to get over that hump right here. And since we didn't take off any other pipes, this is it for the bottom. And then this obviously is plugged in. You want to just give a brief check over, make sure everything's plugged in, everything's safe, everything's good. Alrighty, and after you plug all your fan connections in and you plug all your radiator hoses back in, you're done with the installation. Now we're not going to show you the bleeding process because it's quite tedious and also boring, but that just about sums up how to install our radiator. Now keep in mind, our process might be a little different from yours because we do have a front mount intercooler that blocks the access to the front two AC condenser bolts. But as you saw in the video, or almost saw in the video because it's very hard to get the camera angle correctly, you can take those bolts off without removing the front bumper or the front clip, as whatever you want to call it. You just have to make sure that you slide it back, give yourself just enough room to get an Allen key in there and turn it slowly and gently. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that your AC condenser is hard lined. It is not soft like a hose, so it will bend, potentially kink. So as long as you're aware of those things and you be very, very gentle with it versus forcing it, there's no reason why you can't install it the same way we did. Again, because we have a front mount intercooler, you also saw that we had to take out the pipe to put the fan back in. But if you don't have a front mount intercooler, I highly suggest getting one to keep your engine cool, especially if you're running high amounts of boost, or you're doing a lot of track events, or spirited driving in general, or you live here somewhere hot. You want to keep your engine temperature down. And this is one of the two best pairings, is a big front mount intercooler with our upgraded radiator. I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope you enjoyed the installation. Go ahead and click the link below. We have all the information there, all the product info is there, as well as winning yourself an EK. That's got 1,000 horsepower. All the links are below. We'll see you next time.